Alright, Chapter 4, Optical Splices, Connectors, and Couplers. Learning your draft. Upon the completion of the chapter, you should be able to do the following: describe fiber optic splice, connector, coupler, and type of connections to the form in the system. This is type of the intrinsic coupling losses. Understand the degree of the fiber alignment, the fiber mismatch problems, increase the system detail, score breaking, cleaving the process with the fiber end in preparation. Identify the fiber optic mechanical fusion splice, the outline of the basic slicing, and technique with each type fiber optic splice. List the fiber optic connector, the detail of the procedure, install of the fiber optic connector. A optical fiber, discuss the type of fiber optic has color. L fiber optical connections. Chapter 1, fiber optic data link with the basic bunch versus data link transmit the electrical input, the output input of the optical signal, the optical figure. Fiber transmit the optical signal, the data link to the receiver for the optical signal back to electrical sign identically with the original input. However, chapter 1 does not describe how the optical power transfers from one optical component to the other. Chapter describe the optical. This chapter describes the power transferred one fiber optic pair to the other, and describe how optical sources launch the optical power into a fiber as well as how one optical fiber couples into another fiber. The other fiber optic system design the launching and coupling optical power from one component to the next is important. Fiber optic connection perform the transfer of the optical power of the one component to the other. Fiber optical connection perform fiber optic system to be more than just point data communication links. In fact, the fiber optic data links are often more complex design than point-to-point data links. System connection may refer to the either fiber optic connector or couple of one type of the system connection. Permanent connection is made with the splicing optical fiber together. The fiber optic splice makes a permanent joint between the fiber the two groups of fiber, the two types of fiber optic splice, the mechanical splice and the fusion splice. Even though the removal of the mechanical splice is possibly intended to be permanent, another type of connection also allow for the system configuration fiber optic connected fiber optic connector permanent easy coupling and coupling of fiber optic connectors sometimes resemble the familiar to electrical plug sockets. Something may also divide the combined optical signals between the fiber optic couplers distributed the optical signal between the fibers. Couplers are distributed optical signals fiber and several fibers that become combined optical signals several fibers in one fiber. Fiber optic connection of the main the system performance power fiber into the preparation for fiber alignment the main couple of another source of the couple of the difference in the optical properties between the connected fibers and connected fiber different optical properties of different numerical aperture and core magnetic diameter reflected in the profile of the coupling laws that may increase. Our optical fiber coupling law is ideally optical signal coupled between the fiber optic component that transmit the loss of the layout. There is always some type of imperfection present. The fiber optic connection without the loss of the light amount the optical power loss of the fiber optic connections from the system of its design. The design of the fiber optic system depends on how much light is launched for the optical fiber to couple the optical source, how much light is coupled with the fiber optic components, such as for one fiber to another, the amount of the power lines for the source of the fiber depends on the optical property both the source of the fiber, the amount of the optical power of the optical fiber depends on the radiance of the optical support. Optical source, the radiance of the brightness is measured for the optical power launch capability. The radiance of the amount of the optical power is with the specific direction per unit. The unit of emitting source of the form type of the optical source, the only fraction of the power emitted source of the launch into the optical fiber. The loss of the optical power for the connection difference similar to the signal attenuation through the fiber. Optical log relationship with the loss of the optical power through the connection is defined as loss is equal to the 10 log of the 10 base 10 of the power input over the power output. For example, the power output is the power emitted with the source of the fiber connection. Power input, the power so the fiber, the ending of the fiber connection, the power output, power input, or optical power level measured before they have the joint respectively. Fiber connection loss is effectively intrinsic coupling losses. Loss of the intrinsic coupling losses are caused by inherent fiber characteristic. Intrinsic coupling losses are caused by joint technique. Fiber connection have loss and increase the following for the intrinsic coupling losses. Loss separation, lateral misalignment, angular misalignment, core cladding, mismatch, design, numerical aperture mismatch, reflective index profile, different pore fiber preparation. Intrinsic coupling loss is limited with reducing fiber mismatch between the connected fiber. This is processing only fiber that means stringent geometrical optical specifications. Intrinsic coupling systems coupling losses are limited to found proper connections procedures. Some of the fiber optic components modular devices are designed to reduce the coupling loss between the components. Modular components can be easily removed from any of the system. For example, the fiber optic transmitter, the receiver are modular components. Fiber optic transmitter and receiver, the device that generally manufactured with the fiber pigtail. Fiber optic connectors are shown figure 4. 11 fiber pigtails are shown with optical fiber that use the 1 meter length permanently fix the optical source. The detector manufacturer supply transmitter, the receiver, the pigtail with the connector, the fixed fiber coupling. The source of the detector must be coupled with the direct for fabrication, reduce the coupling loss result source fiber to detector coupling is done with the control of the manufacturing environment. The optical source of the detectors are pigtail with the connector characterize the locale. Launching optical power is reduce the coupling light with one fiber to another. In fact, most fiber optic connections can be served fiber to fiber. Fiber optic connectors favor pigtail. Reflection. The optical fiber to connect with the optical power may be reflected back to the source of the fiber to the light. If the reflected back of the source fiber, the law of the reflection, law of the Fresnel reflection curves every bit of every fiber interface. The Fresnel reflection is called the septic chain of the reflected index that curve the fiber joint. The most case of the septic chain of the reflection index called by the end of the fiber being separated with a small gap. Small gap is usually an air gap. The Fresnel reflection is a small portion of the index light that reflects back in the source of the fiber interface. The ratio shown below approximately the portion of the index light with the light normal index with the reflected back in the source of the fiber. The ratio is equal to the reflective index 1 minus reflective index output reflective index 1 over the plus reflective input output plus reflective index output times 2. The ratio of reflective index light with the reflective fiber reflective index 1 with the fiber core with the output the reflective index output reflective index median between the two fibers. Your first normal reflection occurs with the fiber to connect the portion from the optical power of the reflected light. First exists for the portion of the fiber light. It's reflected the optical signal into the received fiber. The first normal reflection each of the interface must be taken into account with the calculating the total fiber to fiber coupling level loss of the first normal reflection may be significantly reduce the amount of loss of the first normal reflecting the air gap that can be filled with the index matching gel. The reflective index of the index matching gel should match the reflective index fiber core index matching gel reduces separating the reflective index of the fiber interface with reducing Fresnel reflection. Any system with index matching gel may can be used to eliminate reduce the Fresnel reflection. The choice of the index matching gel, the important fiber to fiber connection design permanent and required with the maintenance over the lifetime of the connection. The index matching material must be specifically optical mechanical performance. Index matching gel should remain transparent. They should also use resist following dripping remaining viscosities. Some of the index matching gels are darkening over the time, while others settle looking for out for fiber connection. The other requirements are not as being met. Fiber to fiber connection loss will increase over the time. The application variation and connection loss over the time. The unacceptable Navy system index matching gels are only the fiber optic size and interface. Your fiber alignment. Main source of the main source of the consistent coupling loss of the fiber to fiber connection pore fiber alignment. The 3 base coupling error of the during the fiber alignment, fiber separation, longitudinal misalignment, lateral misalignment, angular misalignment. Most alignment error the result of a mechanical imperfection to the fiber joint technique. However, the alignment error does not result of the installers not from following the proper connection procedure. Fiber out separation, a small gap remains between the fiber and faces and face of the after completing the fiber connection. Figure 4 to illustrate the separation of fiber and faces. Cladding cladding core fiber separation, longitudinal misalignment, lateral axle misalignment occurs when the axis of the two fibers offset with the perpendicular direction of the figure 4 3 with the perpendicular offset with the axis of the two connecting fibers. Misalignment core cladding core side view in view. Angular misalignment occurs with the axis of the two connected fibers are no longer parallel, but the axis of each of the fiber intersect with the same some angles. 0 illustrates angular misalignment at core axle, core cladding, and the core cladding angular misalignment. Coupling loss is connected caused by the lateral angular misalignment. Typically, rated loss caused by the filtered fiber separation. Loss caused by fiber separation is less critical because of the relatively easy limiting distance of fiber separation. However, some of the case of the fiber optic connectors prevent fibers from actually contact with fiber optic connectors. Separate the fibers by a small gap. The gap eliminates damage of the fiber interface during the connection of the connectors with an air gap. They use the index matching the gap to reduce the coupling losses. Most newer connectors are designed with the connector ferrule in face. The contact with the connectors made with the connector can be assembled onto the fiber so that the fibers also contact the main. However, they also can be assembled with fibers that do not, whether or not the fibers contact will determine whether the fibers stick with the slightly with the ferrule. The recess inside the ferrule with the fiber position control with the connector pushing and polishing the technique. The physical contact with the polish for the technique develop the most connected with the fiber would touch with when mated. In these type of the connectors, index gel is not needed to reduce the reflection. With the index matching gel, reduce the coupling less of the fiber separation does not affect the less of the lateral misalignment. Index matching gel will usually increase the fiber coupling loss of the sensitivity, angular misalignment, other angular misalignment involved with the filter fiber separation. Index matching gel reduce the angle of the light with a match for the source of the fiber. Index matching gel couple less light to be coupled with reflective fiber to reduce the coupling loss of the angular misalignment. Angle should be less than 1 degree. Coupling loss due to the fiber and alignment depending on the fiber type of the core diameter, the distribution of the optical power line among the propagation of the fiber to the national aperture of the numerical aperture to reduce the loss of the angular misalignment. They increase the loss of fiber separation. Single mode fibers are more sensitive to the alignment error than multi-mode fibers because of the small core size. However, the alignments of the multi-mode fiber connections may distribute the disturbance of the optical power with the propagating modes and increase the coupling of the loss. Fiber in preparation, fiber to fiber connection, that sort of thing, and coupling more poor fiber in preparation, and the optical fiber end must be flat, smooth, perpendicular to the fiber, axis with the ensure the fiber connection, then light, so reflected scatter of the connection interface, the use on life of the cover connection, the fiber end face that are properly prepared. Figure 4 or 5 shows the common example of the poor fiber end, the illustrated fiber end face tilt, lip, cackle, and quality fiber end preparation, essentially with the proper source of the system. Operating fiber end tilt, face tilt, and fiber end face lip, fiber end face haggle, fiber end preparation begins with removing the fiber buffer, the coating material of the end of the optical fiber, remove the materials involved, mechanical chemical solvent, the chemical solvent, remove the process of the form, well-ventilated area for reason mechanical strip to remove the buffer, the coating of the removal of the strip environment, and remove the buffer, the coating material of the source of the layer fiber, the wipe clean with the wiping of the tissue. The wiping tissue must be wet with the ISO propanol alcohol before wiping. Next step, the fiber end preparation involves the cleaning, cleaving the fiber end with the produce the smooth flat fiber end face, score and break straight, scribe break and method to basic fiber cleaving technique. Preparing optical fiber, the score break of the method, forming the nicking of the outer surface of the optical fiber, placing it in the under tension with the race and heavy metal design by ways use the score of the fiber one, so the scoring process complete the fiber tension for the potential of the fiber break the fiber is placed under detention, either pulling the fiber bending of the fiber over a curved surface. Figure 4-6 show the setup of the score break of the perceive the fiber cleaving under the constant tension. The score break of the method of the fiber be the quality of the fiber end. The fiber end is good enough to use for some splicing techniques. Cover the additional fiber end preparations necessary for the produce reliable low loss connection with the fiber optic connection. The heavy metal diamond blade, constant tension curve mandrel, constant tension, pushing, polishing the fiber end, remove the most of the strip of the imperfections, introduce the fiber, cleave with the process of the fiber polishing, begin with the inserting with the cleave fiber and the ferrule to connect through assembly with the fiber of the fixture for the greatly, generally rigidly the hold on the strip of the end of the optical fiber, the fiber optic unit with the individual fiber is exposed epoxy within the ferrule within the ferrule. With the optical fiber, the demand of the ferrule that can be found with a specific polishing tool for the polishing figure 4 7 show the one type of fiber polishing tool with fiber optical. So two fibers connecting assembly various type of the connections. Some of the discussed later in chapter type of polishing tool. The connector assembly is threaded onto the polishing tool connector fiber passes through the center of the tool to allow the fiber end to extend below the tool circular flat bottom. The optical fiber is now ready for polishing. Show the side view and on view of the fiber polishing tool. The fiber polishing involves step down approach to the first step to give the surface of the fiber end the rough polishing curve the fiber around the polishing tool, move the flat back rows of the 15 back row grip brace paper the bound fiber moves the brave power on paper for the 5-8 motion. Next step involves giving the surface of the fiber end of the fine polishing curves when the amount of fiber to move at 0.3 or 1 greater brace pace the same figure 8 motion fiber inspection cleanliness important during each step of the fiber polishing. Fiber inspection is done visually with the standard microscope 200-400 for magnification. Standard microscope can be used to determine the fiber end of the face, the flat concave, the convex. Different patterns, different parts of the fiber end face have different focus points, and even if the face is not flat, all the parts of the fiber end face in the focus at the same time and is flat. Alright, fiber mismatch. Fiber mismatch is sort of the intrinsic coupling law of the before the intrinsic coupling law of the result of the difference mismatch between the inherent fiber character of the two connection fiber. The fiber mismatch of the manufacturer failed to maintain optical or structural geometrical tolerance during the fiber fabrication. Fiber mismatch result of the inherent character of the independent fiber joint. Technique of the type of the fiber mismatch include the fiber geometry mismatches, numerical arbiter mismatch reflects the index profile difference for the fine fabric geometrical mismatch include the core diameter, cladding diameter, core ellipticity, core cladding, concentricity, and difference. Figure 4 illustrates the type of the optical geometrical fiber mismatch. Nativity fiber specification tightly specify the parameters to minimize coupling loss of the fiber mismatches. Core diameter mismatch, core cladding concentricity error, core cladding mismatch, core ellipticity error. Numerical arbiter mismatch reflects the index profile difference. Your core diameter, the numerical arbiter mismatch of the greater efficiency on the intrinsic coupling loss for the other type of the fiber mismatch in the multi-mode fiber connects the coupled loss result of the core diameter of the mismatch. The natural arbiter of the numerical arbiter reflects the index profile of the difference between the character for the launching fiber. Couple launching with the core diameter mismatch result of the launching fiber have the large core radius and the receiver fiber the cause and coupling loss with the national arbiter mismatch result only if the launching fiber has a higher national arbiter than the receiving fiber. Coupling law of the effective index profile difference results only with the launching fiber is larger profile parameter than the receiving fiber. Fiber optic splices. Fiber optic splice is a permanent fiber that joins purposely and still the optical connection between two individual optical fibers. The simple design requires the fiber connection that have specific optical property laws. They're only fiber splicing fiber optical laces are permit the repair of the optical fibers of the damage during installation accident or stroke. The system designers generally require fiber splicing whenever they repair connection, disconnection, unnecessary wanted. Mechanical fusion splicing the two broad categories that describe the technique of the fiber splice. The mechanical splice, the fiber splice of the mechanical fixture, the material of the performed fiber that line the connection fusion splice, the fiber splice is the way located localized heat source of fuses melt ends of the two optical fibers together in each splicing technique space seeks to optimize special splice performance, reduce the splice loss fiber splicing, result of the proper end of the fiber preparation alignment. Alright, your fiber space alignment can involve the path of the active fiber core alignment. The path of alignment relies on precision reference surface of either group of the cylindrical holes aligned fiber core during the splicing. Active alignment involves the use of light accurate fiber alignment. The active alignment that makes if they either mount or left through the splices during the splice alignment by using the microscope to accurate fiber core for the splicing is minor loose loss of the optical source with the optical power meter with the optical time and the main reflective meter or use the active alignment procedure to the load loss fiber slices. Mechanical splices. Mechanical splicing involves the use of the mechanical fixtures alignment that connect with the optical fiber. The mechanical splicing may involve either path of the active core alignment, the active core alignment that produces the lower loss splice than the passive alignment. However, the passive core alignment method can produce the mechanical splice that accepts the law of the measurement even with a single mode fiber. The intrinsic sense of the mechanical splice of the permanent connection that may be between the two optical fiber, the mechanical splice that hold the two optical fiber that align with it indefinitely period of time without moving. The amount of the splice allows for the stable over the time of the unaffected chain with the environmental mechanical conditions. If the height of the splice law as a result of the assembly some of the mechanical splice of the splice can be reopen the fiber to realign and with the wiping of the fiber referral and the soft wipe of the tree starting the fiber repair with the new arrangement the attic of the new reflective index material on producing an acceptable mechanical splice realignment should be necessary. Most mechanical splices are environmental mechanically stable at the time of the application. The typical the type of mechanical splice they exist with the mechanical spring include the glass, metallic, plastic, metal, ceramic, through the V groove, the rotary materials, material of the system, the mechanical splice, the splicing fiber, they include the transparent adhesive, include index matching gel, the transparent adhesives or epoxy resins that seal the mechanical splice that provide index matching between connected fibers. Glass and ceramic alignment of the two splices. Mechanical splicing may involve the use of the glass or ceramic alignment of the tube caliper, the end diameter of the glass and ceramic tube, only short, slightly larger than the outer diameter of the fiber, and transparent adhesive inject of the tube, the bond for the two fibers. The adhesives also provide the index matching between the optical fiber figure 4 and those are the fiber alignment that use the glass and ceramic tube. The splicing technique relies on the inner diameter alignment of the tube, the inner diameter of the two large splices to improve the because of fiber misalignment in the inner diameter is too as small than impossible to insert the fiber into the tube. Transparent adhesive tube, adhesive hold the optical fiber, the glass ceramic alignment tube, the optical fiber. Alright, your V groove splice. The mechanical splice you either groove the substrate of the position rise of the form suitable with the V groove with mechanical splice and basic V groove. The devices rely on the open groove substrate of the performance fiber alignment. When inserting the fiber, the groove is substrate of the V groove aligned with the cladding surface of the EM fiber each end with a transparent adhesive that makes the splice permanent. The securing of the fiber into the groove substrate of the figure 410 of those for the type of the open V groove splice. The transparent adhesive the optical fiber, the open V groove substrate, optical fiber. The V groove splice is involved with the sandwiching both and butted end of the two prepared fibers between the V groove substrate with a flat plate glass plate. The additional V groove is divided into 2 to 3 positional rods from the suitable V groove from the splice in the V groove divided into the position 2 as you use 2 position rods into the splicing string V groove splice. The splice of the groove form of the 2 position to the bracket line with the fiber with the diameter pushing rod from the other surface of the end of the fiber and extend over the groove form of the rod's flat string press the fiber into the groove to maintain the fiber alignment with the transparent adhesive to complete the assembly profit by bonding the fiber ends, providing index matching figure 411 illustrates the spring view groove splice with the variation of the splice with the position rod inserted instead of flat spring with the rods are held in place with the heat of electrical to band and tube. Or so the flat spring optical fiber positioning rods, optical fiber flat spring positioning rods, rotary splices. In a rotary splice, the fibers mounted with the grass fair with the script of the adhesive to begin with one last glass clear with the broken and for half the assemble the process of the fibers and sort of each half the tube with exposed epoxy in place with ultraviolet cure epoxy the end face of the tube, the end polished and placed together with alignment sleeve. Figure 412 to illustrate the rotary splice the fiber end of the lane. Retain the original orientation, have the added mechanical stability since each of the fibers mounted on the glass ferrule with the alignment sleeve of the rotary slice is made for the matching gel with the misalignment. With the alignment sleeve to reduce the low splices. Shift the fiber, the strain leaf, the spring retainer tab, the alignment sleeve, the ferrule with the tab, the compressed ring of fiber. In short application, many recommendation of rotary splice, the rotary slice loss with low loss mechanical splice provides stability, environmental mechanical performance. In the Navy, the environmental stable performance means splice loss if it does not vary significantly change the temperature of the other environmental mechanical addition. Completing the rotary splice also requires only a small amount of training expertise for the training within another region for the Navy. The recommendation of rotary splice over the other mechanical fusion splicing techniques. Alright, fusion splice. The process of the fusion splice involves the localized heat of the melt with the fused end of the two optical fibers together. The splicing process begins with the preparing each fiber end of the fusion fiber. Fusion splice requires all particular coating to be removed from the end of each of the fiber. Fibers enclave the each of the score and break down for the quality of each of the fiber, each of the end of the inspect for the view of the microscope. And the fusion splice, the splice lost the direct function and angle of the quality of the two fiber end faces. Basic function splicing apparatus consists of the two fixtures within which of the fibers around the two electrode figure 13 of the basic fusion splicing apparatus with the inspection microscope. The shift of the placing with the prepared fiber end of the fusion splicing apparatus. The fiber is placed into the apparatus aligned with the fuse together. Initially, fusion splicing with the nichrome wire with the heating element of the fuse fiber together. The new fusion splicing techniques have replaced with nichrome wire with the carbon dioxide layer for the electrical arc glass flows blanks the heat of the fiber ends and the fuse together. The small side of the fusion splice development automated fusion splice machine that have been made electrical arc fusion one of the most popular splicing techniques in commercial applications. Should the 413 the basic fusion splicing apparatus, the optical fiber moving alignment fixture stationary on alignment fixture tungsten electrodes, optical fiber. Arc fusion involved with the discharge of electrical current across the gap between two electrodes by placing the fiber ends between the electric discharge with the fuse the end of each of the fiber 413 of the plate of the fiber end between the tungsten electrode. The arc of the fusion is only with a small gap present between the fiber end. The short discharge of the electrical current is used to prepare the fiber ends for fusion. During the short discharge of the known as the pre-fusion, the fiber ends the rounded to eliminate the surface effect of the remaining of the fiber cleavage in the surface effect can cause the core distortion bubble formation during the fiber fusion. Fusion splices resolve the fiber ends of the pass together actively aligned for using longer, stronger electrical discharge automated with the fusion splice. Typically use the built-in local optical power launch detection scheme for the lining of the fibers. During the fusion, the surface tension molten glass tends to realign with the fibers on the outside of the diameter change with the initial alignment. The fusion process complete the small core distortion may present. Small core distortion is negligible effect for the lighting propagation through the multi-mode fibers. However, the small core distortion can significantly affect the single mode fiber splice loss. The core distortion splice loss can be reduced, limiting the arc of discharge, reducing the gap of the distance between the two electrodes. The limits region molten glass over the light and limiting the region of the molten glass reduce the tensile of the splice. Alright, fusing the fusion splice yield typically vary with 25 to 75% depending on the strength of the requirements of the splice. Of the other factors affecting splicing yields, including the condition of the splicing machine, the experience of the splicing personnel, of environmental conditions, sensitive to splicing inherent permanently unacceptable fusion spaces. Splices require breakage, refabrication, and splice. In general, fusion splicing takes a longer time to complete, but the mechanical splicing also yields are typically lower, making total time per successful splice much longer for fusion splicing. Both yield and special splice time are determined in large degree of the expertise. Fusion splice operator of the fusion splice operators must highly be trained with efficient and consistently make allow for the reliable fusion splice. For these reasons, the fusion splice is not recommended in Navy shipboard applications. Alright, multi-fiber splicing. Normally, multi-fibers are only installed on the ribbon type of fiber optic cable. The multi-fiber splicing technique the arc fusion the restore the connection. Most of the splice technique for the mechanical splicing method. The most common mechanical splicing the ribbon splice. Ribbon splice the edge of the silicone chip groove the substrate of the splice with the multi-fibers with a flat ribbon splice between the attached groove of the silicone chip that equal the spacing between the fiber with the flat ribbon. Before placing each of the ribbon and edge silicone chip, each fiber within the ribbon cable is uncleaved. All the fibers are placed in the groove that held in place with the flat comfortably and index matching gel to reduce the splice loss. Figure 414 shows the placement of the fiber ribbon over the edge silicone chip. Flat cover the fiber ribbon L edge silicone chip. Alright, fiber optic connectors. Fiber optic connectors made with the device the permit with the coupling and optical power between the two optical fibers. Two group of the fiber design device that allow the repeated fiber coupling without significant loss of the light. The difficulty of fiber optic connected the most maintain fiber first fiber line to provide reliable loss measurement during the numerous connections. Fiber optic connectors should be assembly in the laboratory field environment that should be economics effective. They should also be for reliable fiber optic connection. Even the connector should be insensitive to environmental conditions such as the temperature, depth, moisture of the fiber optic connector design attempt to optimize the connector performance meeting each other the conditions. Fiber optic connector coupling loss result the same loss mechanical described earlier with the chapter. The coupling loss result the power from fiber to line the preparation extrinsic law of the fiber intrinsic law of the Fresnel reflection total amount of insertion law of the fiber optic connector should remain at below 1 decibel. First alignment of the critical parameter of maintaining the total insert law between below the required level. This is only a small amount of control over the coupling law of the resulting fiber mismatch because of the loss of the result of the inherent fiber property. The index matching gel just cannot be reduced Fresnel off the density index matching gels that attract with test and directly fiber connection. Fiber optic connectors can also reduce the system form with introduced module reflection noise the couple of the module noise the fiber optic connector different wavefront of the different modes of fiber over the connector interface module noise eliminated the only single mode fiber the laser source of the only low coherent source of the such a light emitting data with the multi-mode fiber. Fiber optic connectors can introduce reflection noise reflecting light into the optical source of reflection noise that reduce the index matching gel the physical contact policy anti-reflection coating generally reflection noise is only problem high data rate single mode system using lasers. But joint connectors expanded beam connectors are the two basic type of fiber optic connector fiber optic but joint connectors line with bringing the repair and the two fibers into the close contact with the interface of some of the point but joint connectors are two touched by others not depending on the connector design. Type of the butt joint connectors include cylindrical ferrule with the bioconical connectors fiber optic expanded beam connectors two lambs extend the resource of the light for the transmitting fiber to the receiving fiber from since fiber butt joint expanded beam the connectors relations of the two plugs and adapt the figure 415 coupling device figure 415 show the device how the figure each of the plug and adapter connection between two optic fibers. Show the plug and adapter plug variable connectors. Alright, two cylindrical plug referred to the variable alignment of the leaf sometimes actual spring to perform the fiber alignment the figure 416 provide illustration of the basic variable connector design precision hold the drill with the mold with the center of the each of the ferrule allowed the fiber insertion alignment for size fiber alignment depends on the accuracy of the center hold of each of the ferrule when fiber into the insert the heat the normally epoxy resin bound to the fiber inside of the ferrule with the fiber in the plows until they were which flush for the end of the ferrule with the achieve the low loss fiber connection fiber alignment occur with the ferrule with the insert with the alignment of the sleeve of the inside diameter of the alignment of the sleeve of the lines of the ferrule with which will turn alignment of the ferrule connectors look for the ferrule with the alignment of the sleeve and using thread out outer shell with some of the other type of the coupling mechanism. Optical fiber the ferrule with the optical fiber the axle spring alignment sleeve connector assembly as stated before fiber alignment depends on accurate hold with the center of the ferrule with the normally ferrule connected to the ceramic and metal ferrule central hole generally drill the metal of the ferrule with the drilling and the accurate hole through the entire metal ferrule can be difficult to improve the fiber alignment that with the metal ferrule connector due to the precision watch jewel centering the precision watch jewel centering the watching jewel the precision center hole with the place in the tip of the ferrule the center hole of the over the watch jewel in the center of the fiber with the axis of the cylindrical ferrule with the watch jewel provide the fiber alignment that became the regulating of the whole tensor tolerance for the watch jewel when he's either maintain precise hole diameter while drilling through the entire ferrule. The center hole with the ceramic ferrule with the screw the forming the ferrule around the precision wire within is remove the method procedure and produces holes accurately centered within the ferrule. The most cylindrical ferrule connectors now use the ceramic ferrule with straight up the ST connectors. Example: the ceramic ferrule ST is registered registered trademark at AT&T. Other cylindrical ferrule connectors or ferrule connectors contain both metal and ceramic. For these connectors, ceramic capillary place with the tip of the metal ferrule that provides precision fibering in alignment with the ceramic capillary ceramic tube with smaller inner diameter with just larger than the diameter fiber. Figure 417 show the placement of ceramic capillary within the metal ferrule. Optical fiber connector, assembly ferrule, axle spring, ceramic capillary. The type of the budget joint connect the bioconical and connect the bioconical the two conical plug level conical alignment so with the actual spring to perform the fiber alignment. Figure 418 illustrates the bioconical connector design formation of the plugs. Sleeve involved with the transfer mold. The transfer molding uses silicone filled with epoxy resin mold with the conical plug directly the fiber to around with cathode precision wire after connecting the conical plug to the optical fiber. The fiber interface of the plug before the plugs are inserted the molded alignment and sleeve during the fiber insert for the inside surface of the total conical sleeve perform the first alignment while the axial spring push the fiber into the clove of the contact. First alignment, the alignment sleeve permits the fiber actually come to contact with the axial spring, provide enough forces to maintain fiber contact, but prevent damage of the fiber and make the bioconical connector lock the fibers in alignment within the shell. Optical fiber canonical ferrule optical fiber connector assembly double canonical alignment sleeve the axial spring. The multi-fiber connectors join the alignment multi-fiber cable to do the time of the complete with multi-fiber to form the multi-fiber connector the array connector. The array connectors use to connect individual ribbon type cable array connectors simply with the ribbon splice in the area of the array of the connector the fiber over each of the ribbons is epoxy into the groove over the silicone chip that the fiber ends produce. And on the end of the chip of the protruding fiber is propelled with the flat for the connection. Each flat half of the connector is prepared separately before being jointed, spring clip the two groove the belt back plated used to align with the connector with the stack pin ribbons of the two ribbon cable array with the connectors. And also the alignment sleeve with the V groove silicone chip with the metal sling springs in line with the connecting stacked ribbons. Figure 4, 19 show the spring clip method of the ring connector alignment. The multi-fiber array connector only one example of the multi-connector of many types of the multi-connectors different type of the multi-fiber cables. Right over the groove that back plate the stack ribbons, the spring clips, the figure 420 show how the extent of the beam connected with the two length expanded the focus of the light with the transmitting fiber, the receiving fiber, expanded the beam connectors are normally unplug adapter type connector to the fiber separation, lateral misalignment, less critical expanding beam coupling, then by joining the same amount of fiber separation, lateral misalignment, expanding the beam coupling, but procedures lower coupling loss, the blood joining, however the angular misalignment is more critical, same amount of the angular misalignment, expand the beam coupling, produce the higher loss and butt joining, expanded beam connectors also become much harder to reproduce. Application of expanded beam connectors include the belt multi-fiber connection, edge of the connector, the printed circuit boards, and other applications. Alright, optical fiber axial spring variable with the lens of the alignment sleeve, optical fiber connector assembly. Alright, your military connectors. Light duty connector, heavy duty connector 2 with the Navy Class 5 of the fiber optic connector, light duty connector shipboard application include the location of the protection of the connector from the environment of the junction by with the environmental closure. Heavy duty application require the very regular stainless steel connector. Heavy duty connector must also withstand pull tugs and fiber cable without disrupting the system operation. Light duty connections can also be the variable bionical expanding beam design. Ferrule ST connectors are become the commercial connector of the choice local area network. The transfer links and standard connectors. Navy light duty application connectors described in specification 16, 17, and 18 mil C83522 figure 421. The show of the ST type light duty connector. Optical fiber band style plug and boot and strain relief. Figure 422 show the one of the heavy duty connectors designed the horse Navy environmental connectors drive the military specification and mil C28876. It comes from the bare side of the capable of terminating 2, 4, and 5 of the each of the fiber termination coupled with the terminus. If the cylindrical ferrule with the two slightly different terminal used to form a connection pen terminus, second terminus, then terminus consider the terminus by which hold the terminus within the connector show with the ceramic ferrule. Second terminus consider the terminus by ceramic ferrule in line is the which have the ceramic ferrule the fiber line curve within the pin terminus slide of the run sleeve the second terminus terminal the terminate or held by the inserting in the connector show the connectors have are mated clear to insert the line with the mating terminate line with the mating fiber the connector show the back of the particular terminate the surrounding environment provided the same lead with all fiber cable. To the optical cable, the long mounting receptacle connector with the string relief, the polarizing key, and the plug connector with the string relief the optical cable. Your fiber optic coupler. The fiber optic data link requires more than a simple point connection. The data link may be much more complex design. Require multi-port other type of connection. Figure the show with some of the examples of the system of the architecture that use more complex link design. More cases, the typical system of wire fiber optic components can be distributed, combined, and split with optical signal through the system. Signal and dual ring architecture, bus architecture, and then of this architecture won't have the fiber optical components level distribution optical signal fiber optic coupled with fiber optical the device to distribute the optical signal power from the one fiber to among the two fibers. Fiber optic coupler with the combined with the optical signal to more of the fiber to the fiber. The fiber optic coupler is actuated with the signal much more of the connector for the supply of the input from the divided amount of the output port. For example, the 1 times 2 the fiber optic coupler each output with less than 1/2 power of the input signal over the 3 decibel loss. Fiber optic couplers can either be active the path of the device. The difference between the active and passive coupler coupler reduces the optical signal without optical to electrical conversion. If the couple of electron by split and combine the signal electrically and use the fiber optic to control the input and output. Figure 420 24 show the illustrated design basic fiber optic coupler. The basic fiber optic coupler has negative input ports and output ports, and typically range from 1 to 64. The number of the input ports of the output vary depending on the intended application of the coupler. The type of the fiber output connectors. Couplers include the output split optical combiners, X couplers, star couplers, and tree couplers. Input ports and import ports, passive fiber optic coupler. Optical splitter is a passive device with optical power carried by a single input fiber into the two output fibers. The figure 425 illustrates the transfer optical power with the optical split. Input optical power normally split evenly between the two output fibers. The type of the optical split is normally wide coupler. However, the optical splitter may distribute the optical power carried by input power in any given manner. The optical split may split most of the power from the input fiber to one of the output fiber. The only small amount of power is coupled to the secondary output fiber. The typical this type of the optical split splitter is known as the T-coupler and an optical tap. The input optical splitter, the outputs. The optical combiner with the acid device combined with the optical power carried from the two input fibers into the single output with the figure 426 illustrates optical combiner. To the input optical combiner output. The X coupler combined with the function of the optical splitter, the combined with the X coupler combined with the divided optical power with the two input fibers between the two output fibers and another fiber with the X coupler 2 times 2 coupler star. Coupler multi-coupler more than 2 input with the 2 output ports. Star coupler passive device distribute the optical power for more than 2 input ports among the show output ports. Figure 427. They show the multiple input output ports with the star coupler. Tree coupler passive device splits optical power 1 input fiber into more than 2 output fibers. The tree couplers might be used to combine the optical power for more than 2 input fibers. Single output fiber. The figure 428 illustrates each type of the tree coupler. Start with the tree coupler distributed the input power uniformly around on the output power. Star coupler the number and import the M and output ports. Your 1XM tree coupler input port, M output ports, and input ports, and a tree coupler output. Alright, your fiber optic coupler should be prevent the transfer of the optical power from one input power to another input power. The direct and couple the fiber optic coupler to prevent the transfer of the power between input fiber to the power. Many fiber optic couplers are also symmetrical. Symmetrical couplers transmit the same amount of power through the coupler input to the output or reverse. Passive fiber optic coupler fabrication technique. The complex difficulty to understand some of the fiber optic coupler fabrication involves become splitting with a micro lens with a graded reflective index of the rods and beam splitter. The optical mix of the beam splitter devices divided the optical beam the two more separated beam fabrication. Fiber optic couplers may also involve the twisting, fusing, tapering together two or more optical fibers. This type of the fiber optic coupler where they focus on bionicle taper coupler. Fuse bionicle coupler coupling the light with the input fiber to the output fiber, the tapered region. To accomplish beam slitting, figure 429 illustrates the fabrication process of fused bionicle type taper coupler. Or tension fiber 5 twisting tension fiber fusing melting tension fiber tapering tension. All right, chapter 4 summary.